Alright, so we've been asked to do video reviews for the book we just read, which was The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. And I'm going to set this up where I talk about two things I really liked and two things that made me say, no, just nah. So the first thing I want to talk about is that Pressfield seems to know me, and maybe a lot of people well, because I read a lot of fantasy novels. And the way he set up the dichotomy between the life of the artist and the life of everybody else, and like resisting resistance or whatever, God, that was redundant. But the way he set it up is like he kind of couched it in the language of light and dark, good and evil. And I was like, wow, dude, like when I stopped to play a hidden eye game, I didn't realize that I was aligning myself with the forces of darkness. But now that I know it, I'll probably do it a lot less, just like I don't want to be a Death Eater. I want to be hyper productive, and I want to give back to life, and I want to progress humanity forward rather than holding it back. But I guess, like, the other side of that too, um, and I think this sort of goes into my other thing, is that part of the reason that you do have to really nurture your gifts is because your gifts are given to you. You have to be a good steward of what you're given. And if these gifts come from you on high, whether it be God, angels, muses, drugs, whatever, you have to be a good steward of those gifts. Otherwise, you just seem like a really ungrateful child. So I thought that was pretty cool. So point one, don't be a Death Eater. Don't align with the forces of darkness. Do what it is that you're put on this earth to do, just regardless of external forces. Two, recognize that the gifts that you have been given come through you, but they're not of you. And because that's the case, don't be an ungrateful ass. Use them to your fullest potential, whatever that may be. Okay. Um, so those are two things that I liked, and I kind of mashed them together. But okay, so something I didn't like. Um, this guy, when he was talking about mental health issues, sort of bothered me a little bit because he was like, yeah, mental health issues are something that the pharmaceutical companies made up. And while, I can go with him about this far on that, um, I think that was a kind of a reckless thing to say, because next thing you know, you're going to have these artists who are going off their fucking meds, and they're running down the streets with their genitals waving and manuscripts in their hand, like fucking Ginsburg or something. So I thought that was a little reckless. I think actually, and the other thing I thought was reckless actually does have to do with like hard and fast like medical reality. And he was talking about the chick who had 6 months to live, and she had cancer, and then suddenly she goes out, she does what it is that she's called to do, lo and behold, her cancer goes into remission. Um, well, I'm sure, like, there is some credence to that, I think, on a certain level, right? Like, they've already found, and they've known it outside the West for thousands of years, that there is a body-mind connection, right? And that there's certain chemicals that can be released by stress, and not fulfilling your potential is probably pretty stressful. So I can see that, but then at the same time, it makes people who just have cancer seem like, oh man, there's something very fucked up about that person's psyche, and that's why they're sick. That person is not living up to their potential, and that's why they're sick. And, from the people I know who have had cancer and the people that I have lost to cancer, I can 100% say that's not the case. So maybe he was just trying to fill space in the book. I was like, damn, that's kind of a dick thing to say, but okay. So overall, I really enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the first half of the book more than I liked the second half of the book, mostly because I thought the second half of the book was sort of like redundant, like it was almost like a paper for school, and he was just trying to meet the word count requirements, and thusly and lastly, and what I said before I will say again, and what I said again I'll say that one more time. It kind of felt like that, but overall, I don't know. I thought it was a really good book. I got a lot out of it. Like I said, I don't want to be a Death Eater, so that's good to know. I want to be a good steward of my gifts. Um, And I think that's all. Those are all things that are worthy of aspiring to. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I have. So I'm gonna cut it off here, and I can't wait to see what everybody else says. Bye.